Hello and welcome, as today's date comes in that of the 17th of June 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel where all bets, trades, and of the like within each's own risk and their own reward. It's been a little while since I've done a video, but really nothing much has been going on within Bitcoin. This is a huge level within Fibonacci not shown on this, around 9,800. And so far we are seeing that it's been holding near the 18 average of lows on the barely rising, but really starting to flatten out neutral 18 average after coming from the lows in March, lows of below 4,000 to highs barely above 10, a 2.5x move from the lows and claiming a consistent price action at the resistance that it was having at the start of the year. And even in the area here in October near Halloween, and the general area was rallying up to in 2019 as it had the wild run. April 1st of 2019, it broke out all the way to like the end of June. And it's been correcting this move ever since. So it's been about a full year almost. Yeah, June 30th. Here we are, June 17th. 1 year, we've had some lower highs and lower lows, but it's already managed to make a matching high from the previous, well, matching high from before then. As this high was matching this one and a lower low. And you're favored to make a lower high when you make a significant lower low, but no. It at least has made a matching high. And highs or lows are known after the fact because this trend hasn't been finished. If this thing breaks out soon over the 18, doesn't have any real breakdowns, then this high on this time frame is going to be looked at. No, that's not the key level. It's like this high. No, this high got beaten this one up. If so, in this case here, if this breaks out, well, maybe we do make a higher high and match up and meet that. But that, of course, would be the next significant level of resistance near that of 13,000. A very interesting day today, to say the least. Some wild things happening here. 9 o'clock a.m. we can see on the hourly term. I think it's probably best that if I put this on in the Tether exchange. So let me go do that. And we look at this as it is. It had to run higher from this low and managed to make some higher highs, twice hitting this high here at 95.82, first at 11 p.m. on June 15th, and then 9 o'clock in the morning at 95.89. Getting to this high once more, correcting again, a little bit of a correction. And then right this morning, 9 o'clock, it had what was a failed breakout, and since then, we can see how it's been acting towards a newly declining 18 average of lows, and short term it has established a lot of support pretty much where we're at now. 15-minute term time frame, there we can see the breakout here as it got above all the short-term level of resistance in here. It managed to quite, but not so much, get to this level high here. Also, you almost say it's a failure for able to go to where it came from, but this obviously is the failed move, fast move lower. It had a situation when you look at this on the 4-minute where you had this significant move. There's a decline, correctionary move, successful on a bearish situation, another leg lower. But here's a spot where it managed to come up, match this high, and after establishing this short-term support, we can see it giving in now. So it's already made it to this level. So therefore, when I look at this, this does give me reason, again, so like the hourly time frame, it looks like it's breaking down. It probably will. Key Fibonacci from this point, this high to this low. So I'd be looking next at like a 61.8% down move, somewhere maybe around 92. If, of course, it looks like, and it probably will break down below this level of support. Now I'm going to move on to some altcoins. I haven't talked about LITECOIN in a while. I'm going to talk about a couple I haven't talked in, some more I haven't talked in a while about. On the bullish front, this one in here, LTC against Bitcoin, has been in a major decline for just over the last little while. We can see it resisted this 0.08 or 0.8% of resistance and has been going down non-stop since. And a little bit of a sideways correction here with the 587 handle established. It resisted that level and then significant, a couple or three lower lows to get to this 44.86 point. Since then, the attempt to revert the trend in the correctionary phase, establishing this resistance on May the 25th, and a few times trying to get above it and reestablishing resistance a little higher. Not getting above that one though. And now we can see, as it's been failing this 18 average of lows June 9th and 10th, that it's just a little bit of a possible rally attempt to just even flatten out the curve, as they might to call in a different sense, but flatten out this 18 and really get up to the upper end as the next level of resistance if it's able to go through. It's got a long, long ways to go. But I believe all these coins, at least not all of them, but a lot of them are at least going to have their days and weeks and months where you just have significant moves. And quick look at Litecoin on the long-term time frame. Probably best to look at the Poloniex chart, as that one would have data going back. And it's not like we've, like I say, well, it's not like we've been at these lows before. In other words, I should be saying we have been at lower lows before. This one really doesn't count the low in here. I mean, it did, but it didn't. It was just someone just selling off big on the exchange. This high did. And this low, of course, it came down to the 31.1 handle. So to me, I see this resisting the 18 lows. Going below this is probably looking like it just may even come down to that as another test of that key support. But as these things, when they're ready to go, the last few moves obviously haven't been as good. We got just this one green candle here, and then a few back at this point that came up to this previous high. This one here, this one here, this one here. So therefore, what happened before? Downtrend, 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 and so far it's been a downtrend. Anyway, let's move on to the next coin. And we'll start off, outside of Litecoin, we'll do the next one with that of Theta. And I got a few months on here to work with. I guess this would be like month number 19. We're into, I suppose, year 3. It's past month 24. With that being said, this breakout in here, price action getting to highs, well, all-time highs. That's reached at 6,400 Satoshi. Now in at about 24.5, 24.50. The level of Fibonacci that I've been putting in, I've been stating that it looks like, and it's actually, these are approximate numbers. And I remember calculating like 18 high change, like 1890-ish or so. But on the daily time frame, there's nothing to stop what this trend so far, which has been going lower from this high. This high came on a news day. And was this the buy the rumor, sell the news event? Well, so far, yeah, it has been. And as I stated before, just because sell the news, that doesn't mean the news is negative. It might have been. It was a partnership with Google. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm kind of, at least not, I just know the cloudy details. Of course, fundamentals for my situation, I worked more towards the mathematics and the trading cycles and flipping coins back and forth. So as far as what I cheer for, so far it's doing what I was hoping, because a lot of times these down moves can happen significant in time, because when we can take a look at the last one, it came down, had a little bit of a down move, sideways for a bit, down in here. So this was March the 10th, and it bottomed on May the 14th. So it was a little over 2 months from the top to that low. So far, this has been May the 27th. We're not even a month yet. I'm not going to say it's 2 months, but the down moves usually happen slower. The markets go up faster than they go down. So they take more time to go down, if that's the case. So it could be one of those situations where you do go below this, maybe hit about a 1700 number, and it might take a few weeks to get there. It can happen fast, but to me, the indications that this is going down there, nothing has been changing towards the situation. It resisted this. First, we had support here. Then we broke down below. So I'm now looking for resistance here. I see it on June the 1st. I see it on June 4th and 5th. It doesn't quite get up to it here, and it still technically can. If it gets clear above this, you see it above like 3,200. Okay, now we're looking at 4,000, but it's got a long ways to go, or a lot of stuff to happen just to have that to occur. And on the single hour term time frame, yada yada, really not much going on. But I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in here for just a little few trades. We had a low of 21.59, a high of like 28 and change. So that's about 20+%. And even this correctionary move, if you're able to sell it, say 27.37, come back down to 24.50. That was a differential of like about 10%. So there's a lot of swapping, day trading that you can do with a lot of these coins. And the next coin I'm going to talk about, there's 2 more left on the list. A Grostel, or GRS, will be the next coin. And this thing is breaking out short term, 1 hour term, as it's got above the 18 average of highs at 12 o'clock and has just been consistently going up. So I'm looking at to a key previous high, which is pretty much where it's at. It has not quite got there, or maybe it quite has. No, not quite. Pierced below. And just even now, it's been significantly pulling back on the 1 minute. But this is where it's been happening, is just this minute alone. And I looked at this, whoa, it's up like 6% for the day. I want it to go up more. I probably have an alert ready to go a little bit higher. Let's just see the daily time frame. Yes, I do. My alert is in at 28.33, which tells me if it breaks above that, then maybe I should sell something. That's. However, this thing, I don't know how this person who sold on May the 9th, how he or she feels or how they feel right now. They sold down to 500 Satoshi. But since then, it's been going up. I don't know if there's any news on this by any means. There could be, there could not be. I don't know. But I do know that it's been making higher highs and higher lows. And I do know that when the market goes up in price, I'm generally going to be selling it as I was buying it on the way down. And therefore, I can flip these coins. So I've shown LITECOIN. I've been selling it for that. I've shown Theta. I've been selling it for that. I've even been considering that maybe this has a decent sized breakout. I might even sell it for the next coin that's on the list that I really think has got very good breakout potential over the next several weeks, and that would be Cardano. And within it, it does got some news. I'm not going to say what the news is because I really don't know. However, I mean, for me, my notes are like totally fantasy with the exception of something that I got in here. So this is like other games and, well, either June 30th or July 7th, something's got to do with Cardano. We'll see. Right now, of course, it is, how long do we got for that? That's 2 weeks. And apparently this news has been on for quite some time, so it's not new news either. Although that's one of my favorite songs from the day, early 2000. I think it's No News by, it's a country song. Lone Star, I think? Anyway, I was just thinking that song for the first time in probably a decade or 5 years since I last heard it. Let's move on to ADA. The breakout here on May the 28th, breaking above the 600 Satoshi level, getting above this previous resistance of 686. What levels were coming in after that? We had, we have previous support where it's at now. That was like, just by looking at that, it's doing what it's supposed to. It's had a little bit of resistance. And now we have, this low in here. That's an interesting spot. Who sold there? Hourly term time frame. It was, someone got pretty anxious there at 11 p.m. So on June the 14th, probably not too enthusiastic about their sale today. However, it is what it is. This thing has had a spectacular breakout today, doing so at 8 o'clock in the morning, having its correctionary phase right now as it's just pulling back to the 18 average. Key Fibonacci levels you can be looking at. I'm not going to calculate them, but Fibonacci from this high that it's had to this low. You can also do this low. I'll maybe do that person's sale lows, but I'm not a big fan of doing that unless it's a real superb key low. I like to probably go with these lows as far as them. But when you look at the levels of Fibonacci on here, how about Fibonacci from this high to this low? And Fibonacci from this high way up in here. Meaning, this thing is up a lot and down a lot. It's a little overextended on the short term. Little maybe, though. When these things go up, they can go up pretty darn near fast. We'll see if it does or not, but if it does, so be it. 400 or so was the low, but it was, and I don't like those little things in there, so it's right around here. 478 was a significant low that was easy to buy at. And now it gets above the 18 average of highs on May the 25th. Continues that move, more of a sideways period, so was last week and this week. Well, we came back down to the 18 average of highs within that person's sale, and also to this level of previous resistance on February the 10th week. And within it, Fibonacci from this high to this low, it looks like a 38.2% hit to me. So probably go to a 61.8 if it's able to get by that level of resistance. And that could be a move of about a 70% play from the 858 current price as we get back above this level. But this is what a lot of the reversal trends you can see. Even here, the reversal attempt was going on at the start of the year, January the 27th. Price action getting above the highs, establishing resistance, coming back, staying and holding within the 18. And I'll use that vocabulary, staying and holding, because it did go below it and have like, well, these three months in here, or 3 weeks rather, this, where it pretty much stayed below it. And then again with the green candle for 2 more, and then it gets above it, successfully corrects this move because it higher lows it, it resists where it supported, or supported where it resisted before. And then it gets above this resistance, it gets above this resistance. Significant break, of course, that what I mentioned previous supported here. And now, of course, things are in stop, and it looks like it's in a good situation for a significant break. On the daily chart, I'll be interested if it gets above this 892, 900 level. Then you're going to really have to consider taking it seriously, but even more so when it breaks this high. And you start to see it in the high 900s, 960. A lot of people might think that even numbers are huge psychological resistance and support, and because it was a big failure on June the 4th, resisting 947, then I'm going to think it's not going to be much resistance on the way up, because usually when you break key levels, that keyword on the situation of it breaking like 963, probability odds that it'll be flying pretty good and pretty fast as the probability. And as mentioned, to where I would think its price target would be, and I'll calculate this one just for something to do. We got a high of 1944. So let me bring up the fib calculator. And let's calculate the low. Let's read the low. 403. So we're going to look at the key 4 numbers, which are 23.6 at 584, then 735. And we can see in here that, let's just take a look at this more clearly. So 584, what did it do here? It resisted it in this level here, piercing extra, which is normal. And then 735 was not resistance. Interesting. And yet next key level is 1066. Okay. I suppose I should put my nice little lines in. So 1066 and 584. And the next one at 1000, a little above it. And as I can see here, did I write this in right? 735, yeah, that was the other Fibonacci. So here we have a situation where it didn't resist where it was supposed to, which then tells you, okay, I mean, we were supposed to resist previous high, and this was a weird situation for the simple fact that usually, not here, key levels, or these levels just happen to coincide with key levels. And this log scaling is just totally off. I guess it's because of, what high am I using? I'm using the 1944 high from here. Let me just try this. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. So 735, 1066. Yeah, so as it goes, we didn't resist either previous high, at least not much at all. And we really didn't resist hardly anything at all at the 737 area. And it had a very convincing move going forward, but not quite convincing, of course, the psychological one or that key next level near 11. But I'm seeing a successful correctionary move so far. So to me, it looks like it's doing what it was stating, what it usually does when we don't resist it. Thus having things like, heck, we haven't even supported it because it didn't even come back to it, not even maybe on this low at 771. Unless it was 785 and I put the numbers in wrong, which could make sense. But no, 735. So anyway, that would be it for today's video. We'll see how this goes. But you know, I can make another Fibonacci, I suppose. We got this low here at 260 and this high near 8350. So just a ballpark calculation. Okay, so 590, then 978. 590 level, of course, is this big level of resistance in here. And then 978, which is that another fail? Piercing like less? Yeah. But I mean, it's not a fail if the move isn't over. That's very normal. A lot of times you might have sell orders ready to go or buy orders on the way down and whatever. And then it doesn't hit it, but it's common to have like, okay, it comes down here, and then after that we would have just bring up breaking 1,000 says 2,200 and change. See if that makes sense here. Probably. I mean, it's coming into this level of support, but before then you would think 17 though. So don't be surprised if it does get above this into the well over like around 24 or 25. If, of course, it can convince me again on the situation of breaking past 1,000. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.